Okay.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Stan. Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm Dawn, and I'm happy, healthy, and hopeful.
Aw.
Yes, you are,
Yes,
Dawn.
you are.
And my brag is, after having a bad Monday last week with my son, we are instituting a new behavior program. And we're really, my husband and I are being very consistent with it. So that's my brag, and things are getting better.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice. Good. Great brag. Consistency is key, right?
Yeah.
Love it. Chris, would you like to go next?
Sure. Let's see, I am healthy, strong, living my best life.
Yes,
And
you are.
my brag is that my son, who has been working for the past 6 years to be a minor league umpire, just started this week and did his first game yesterday. So
Congratulations. Yay. That's cool. That's awesome. Cool. And then Jen, I don't mean to put you in the room right away, but hi. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we're just gonna stand. Well, maybe could you
me to
go?
go? Yeah,
Go
I'll go
back?
first. I'm sorry, I brought it up because I couldn't remember what I had written. So I love myself. Oh, I'm Janine. Hi, Janine. Hi. I love myself, and I am confident and worthy of love and a happy, healthy lifestyle that I have.
Yes, you are.
And I couldn't think of any particular brag, except this is a tough time of year for me when all the custard stands open. So I've driven past most of them. The past couple of weeks, so I'm proud of myself for that.
That is really hard.
My car just automatically veers right in.
Great.
I have to say, I'm thinking to myself, do you have a job in custard? Like,
That's what started, and I bought an ice cream parlor many years ago. That's what started the weight gain. But yeah, I ate all the profits.
She's serious.
No, I'm serious. Yeah. They say I ate all the profits, right?
You didn't get tired of it?
No. We had 28 flavors. I never got tired of it.
Good stuff.
Great. That's a lot.
So we're
You
just
wanna
saying
go
our
next?
intention. Oh, okay. I'm Jen.
Can you stand up?
Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm Jen. I'm adventurous and courageous to make healthy choices for myself to be healthy.
Yes, you are.
And then a brag. I went away this weekend and I made healthy choices.
Wow.
I made some unhealthy choices, but like when there was 3 ladies eating tiramisu cake all around me, and I said, no, I don't want it.
Wow.
So I did it. Yeah, I did it. And the brag was I didn't gain any weight by being away for 4 days, which I was shocked.
wow.
Yeah, I stayed the same. And I was like, oh my God. But my sister has got high energy, and she took us on a lot of hikes and walks all over the island. So I think that really helped the
And
activity.
I thought when you came in the room, I'm like, oh, she looks good. Even in
Yeah.
your scrubs.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I feel good. Even though I didn't have that tiramisu cake.
Yeah, I don't know. I love tiramisu. I might have done that with my couple girlfriends, have a couple bites. But so hi, I'm Sister Goddess Georgia, and I allow peace and freedom in my life so I can raise the vibration of this universe.
Yes, you do.
Thank you.
With
R do.
Yes,
Think
you
about
do.
my brag.
Kelly's
my
here.
daughter is here, you know, and I'm
Oh,
doing my
nice.
best to, you know, not do some of the extra works that I have to do. But that's a bit tough. But anyway, but I'm doing my best. So yeah, tomorrow is Kelly and Mommy Day. So,
so nice.
so excited.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I am able to trust my own decisions.
Yes, you are.
And it's my brag. I wore a bikini at the beach the other day for the first time since high school, and I had not lost 1 pound, and I was totally good with it.
Oh,
Like I just am like, I'm okay with my body. I feel good with how I am, who I am. It doesn't matter if I gain 5 pounds, lose 10 more. Like I'm going to enjoy the body that I'm in, and I did.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Nice. Awesome. That is
Thanks.
awesome.
Hello, I'm Lisa. And my affirmation is that I am confident that I will maintain a healthy body and soul and enjoy the process. My brag is, it's just a little brag, but I liked it. I decided to like change around a few things. I've started getting in a rut, eating the same old stuff. So I changed around and I wanted to add more vegetables, like not the same ones that I was getting in that habit. So I started being more creative with my morning green shakes. And I did away with for now, the protein powder, and I have that in the for an afternoon snack. But I started adding a bunch of vegetables in there and some like seeds and, for some flax and some chia seeds and some hemp just for a little extra protein. And I'm really enjoying it. So
That's nice.
that's what
Hi, I'm Anna. I am making better decisions and exercising more.
Sure.
My brag, drove home from South Carolina and only ate healthy food on the ride. So I was excited about that.
Nice. Not easy.
Not
Yeah,
always.
that is a challenge. Now I packed it.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you.
They're very cute.
Hello, I'm Kim. I'm developing healthy eating habits for a better life. And thank you. And I'm going to thank my brag to Georgia. You sent out something, a June inspiration. I don't know what you sent out, but I said I'm going to plan my vacation with my girlfriend, and we started to plan our vacation for September. So I'm very excited.
Yay!
Thank you for that little note of
Where are we
encouragement.
going? Where are we going?
We are going to Italy.
Oh,
That's
nice.
That's nice.
That's wonderful. When are you
Yeah.
going? What part of the month?
We haven't quite decided because we're going to look at the prices.
So we're
What
advertising our
decide?
Tuscany retreat next week. We're going September 30th. We're actually decided to make it 9 days instead, but we're going to start in Santa Severa, and we're going to go to Rome. So that'll be there. Then we're going to go to Tuscany. We'll be in Tuscany for 4 nights, going to some hot springs and some vineyards and some good walking. It's really special stuff. Then we're going to go to Florence for 2 nights. We have an amazing woman who's our friend, who's an American, that's lived there for a few years, and she's going to give us the tour. So she's good for, of course, shopping, knowing exactly where to go. So you save a lot of that time, but also, take us to Fissy and all that kind of stuff. So that might be something to think about. That might be something to think about because, you're getting, and then you can do the classes along the way. And we're staying in a spa in Tuscany. So the
That's
water.
something to really think about. We're spa girls.
So, but let me tell you about this spa. The pool in the spa has candles, real candles around it, but the temperature's warm, like warm. And then there's a hot tub as well.
When is this trip? When is the date?
It's September 30th
For 9 days.
for 9 nights.
For 9 nights.
We were making it 7 and we brought it up because
It's too hard to do 7.
exactly. And we really want to get the people that are going to Italy are going there because they have to bid.
What?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
What did you say?
Oh, because we work at a school, we
So
could
you
never
can't
do
take
that.
off
We
during
could-
the
year.
Yeah.
I know. That's
Yeah.
so anyway, sorry.
Anyway, okay.
That's great. Great brag. I love it.
Excited about it.
I'm Hope and I'm adventurous and making better choices, healthier choices. And my brag is I planned being adventurous. I planned a trip to Florida by myself next weekend to visit a friend. So renting a car, that's a little scary on your own. And then I'm planning a trip to Texas in August with my niece.
Great. We've got some travelers, adventurers in there. All right. So thank you everybody I just think that's really important to do that. So let's go around and we're gonna just take a moment to fill these. Actually, I'm just gonna pass them around. Everybody take one. Just a top thing. Yeah, don't worry about that part. So you're the You don't want to use the clipboard?
I'll get
So I pass this around as well.
No, this is just yours.
Thank you.
So it just,
I got one, thank you.
Okay, I'm okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm okay. I was just no problem.
so remember, honesty, to checking in with yourself. Can grab an extra, thanks. If, you know, remember when we do these things, the first answer that comes is usually the one, not the one that we want to be, the one that really is truly who we are. That's for me too. Still not.
So Georgia, just to be clear, this is thinking back to whenever we used to diet and how did we feel?
Yeah, this is now.
Or
This is
now.
now, like where you are right now in the moment. You know, being as completely honest, you have signs of weight gain. No, I say now is in the recent 30 days, right? Like, right, Kelly, am I?
Because it says how has dieting interfered? And like,
Yeah,
we're not
probably.
dieting. I'm not dieting.
Oh,
I'm thinking if you have a history of dieting, maybe things that would typically be your response to this. I would think.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have signs of weight gain? So, you know, Joanne, if I could be just completely honest, yes, you have signs of weight gain. You might not be right in this moment, but you've gone up and down this month, right?
Mhm.
So I would do that. You know, cravings for carbs, you know, most likely you would check that because you know, blood sugar swings. Those of you who've been doing this for a few years, you might say, I used to have that, but I don't have that anymore. And you're going to see your growth as well.
I was just thinking that I used to check off a lot more than I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if you've been doing it for a few years and like maybe one wasn't necessarily popping up, but today it's popping up, just chuckle it. It's okay. Life is like that. That's what we are.
do you feel numb physically? Embellish on that a little bit.
I think it's just what it says. Do you want to embellish on it, Cal?
Yeah, I think it's more just like, do you have signs of like not being in connection with your body? Like, is there certain areas that just feel like you're having like an out of body experience, like you're not even connected with yourself?
Yeah.
Like, just like an inability to physically connect with who you are.
You know what a blood sugar swing is?
Yeah, so you're like you're feeling exhausted and then you have energy and
Like what, after you eat something sweet or something like?
yeah, or
Sure.
yeah, you after you've had something, then you know you're
Okay.
blood down, you're
Okay.
crashing. I would say probably not for you at this point. You do? Okay.
This could be really good too, because even if we think that maybe we're not dieting right now, like there might still be some patterns that creep in. So like this can be a really good way to kind of open your eyes to like, oh, maybe that does count as dieting and I actually do it more than I thought I did. Or yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because the reality is those of us that have weight problems got here for a reason. It's because we weren't eating right. So we're eating better now. So in a sense we are, even though we're not dieting, we're not watching every single thing that goes in our mouth. We're still more cautious and conscientious about what goes in our mouth. So we are sort of dieting, I think. I don't know.
Or maybe
Totally
dieting
agree.
is the idea of what you're eating and what you're not eating, not necessarily the idea of limiting what you eat, but just what you're putting into your body.
Yes, exactly. I'm making better choices now than I was before. So But, you know, if you want to look at my old diet, then yes, I guess this is kind of dieting because I'm eating better. It's eating a better diet. I don't know.
But yeah,
I'm
you're about
explaining
eating
it.
better, but it might go from a different point of view. Like it might be you're eating better because you're choosing to be healthy because you like how it makes you feel. You're choosing it because you know you feel better, lighter. You're choosing it because it's nourishing you when you have less aches and pains, right? Those could be,
That's all.
but there could also be you know, I don't know what you're, you know, that's what this little exercise is for.
My issue always is though, when I stay home and eat for myself, I eat much better than when I go out and eat off of a restaurant. Totally, yeah.
And why can we just, let's just talk about that
Yeah,
for a
why,
second.
exactly why? Because I'm choosing, obviously, to eat bad stuff or whatever.
But it tastes good. Let's be
It does
honest.
taste
It tastes
good.
really good, and you're
I mean,
out to dinner enjoying yourself
it's
with
a special
people. It's a special occasion.
It all tastes good. I had a great big salad with tofu and, you know, Vidalia onions and pepper, all this stuff for lunch, and that tastes good. But so does going out and eating a plate of pasta, for example. I don't know, you know, or Mexican
Yeah.
food with oozing with cheese. Yeah, that tastes good too.
There could be
not-
different reasons
doesn't
why
make
it
me
tastes
feel
good on
good.
different days too.
Yeah. So yes, I know it's a choice, but you know, sometimes I choose to do it too.
Good.
But
And that's what I hope you
yeah.
all decide to do it if you want pasta.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I do. You know, there's nothing wrong with having what you desire, right? At all. And we're going to learn about that. You know, today we're just basically addressing 3 topics on intuitive eating. I guess there's 10 principles. Am I right?
There's 10 total. Yep.
Yeah. So basically, we're just going to focus on these 3, but we really feel like if we get to the bottom of this, but why you did this exercise, did you learn anything? Let's have a couple shares about that. And then we'll go into that. Were you surprised to see you checking some of these?
No.
I'm heavy on the social, like a lot of checks on the social section.
I have a lot of checks on the psychological.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, like I get guilty if I eat a bad food, good versus bad food thinking.
Oh, good.
I am afraid that if I start eating forbidden foods, I won't stop eating. I check that. And I'm preoccupied by thoughts of what I eat. It's quite interesting to go
It
through
is.
it.
It is.
And how you separate it by the different, you know, types of things: physical, social, psychological.
Is there anything on here that anybody thought maybe wasn't connected with dieting and you're surprised to find that maybe some of it is?
Maybe some of the social ones, let's see. Like I worry about what people think about my eating or how I appear to them. Like, yeah, I wouldn't think that fall under the category of dieting and stuff, but I guess it does, yeah.
I used to have that one. That was a big one.
Which one was it?
The social when you go out to eat and worry about like what people are like actually looking what you're eating and how they're judging you, and oh my gosh, that was huge for me. You know, then what that led to was I was like good, right? And then afterwards I ate so much other stuff and you know just trying to find that it wasn't serving. So anybody else want to share? If not, we'll get started. Get into this a little bit more.
My biggest one is eat stressed. That's a big one for me.
And so that's great. So that is one that learning tools along the way, right? And just will help you. Like, what other things can you do to deal with these emotions that we have coming up? I'm going to share my screen.
this ours? Can you write on this?
Yeah, that's yours. And I would like you to put your name, put the date on it, so you have something to really reference to. Because over the next few years, you will shift and you will change, and it's it's going to be like freedom and a lightness that's going to come into your life and everything, because you're going to like start to. And tonight is going to be an amazing opportunity for you to really address a few of those things and move forward and literally change your lives. You're going to have some aha moments in just a moment. So we'll just stop it or start with our announcements. What does that first thing say? This
Next meeting Wednesday. Over.
No, over top of the announcements.
Set up professional audio in audio settings.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure.
So next meeting is going to be Wednesday, June 22nd. So that's called, it's basically how to read a food label. So I think that that's really important. You know, I'm a big believer. I think intuitive eating really changed my life. But I'm also a big believer of learning to be very sustainable, knowing where our food comes from and making sure that we eat responsibly for our bodies and for the planet. I think that's really important. Next announcement is we only have 3 weeks left of our challenge. I can't believe it's gone so fast. It's unbelievable. So just continue to log your weights and just know it's not over. 3 weeks is, you could do a lot in 3 weeks. So keep yourself alive. Have you been working with your accountability buddy? Have you been doing that? Raise your hand if you have. I want to see. All right. Awesome.
We just want to do more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So do you have one, Anna?
Yeah.
No. Do you have one?
No.
Would you want to be accountability buddies?
Sure.
Okay, good. So, okay, then let's talk about that. Dawn and Chris, do you have accountability buddies?
I don't think so.
Yes. Dawn?
No.
No. Okay, so we got to get you.
Had, Lisa Price.
Were you working with Lisa?
Well, I mean, I talk to her all the time, so maybe that's why she thinks that. I didn't know that it was like a formal thing.
Accountability buddy. All right, we won't forget you. We'll talk about that. And then remember, we have the weekly workouts with Robin, basically Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights when we have our meetings on Tuesday. I know she sent out an email that was very confusing, and might have confused you and you had to double check your calendar. I apologize for that, but things like that happen. But just keep in mind, that's part, I hired her for the program to give more of a full rounded program. So just keep attending. It's actually, it's fun. It's good for us. It's good. We're at that age that it's really important that we keep our muscle, because naturally, even when we are exercising, we're still losing muscle as we get older. So we want to exercise. Plus, the number one thing that they say is people who have muscle on their body and who exercise, going to have less cognitive decline and risk of Alzheimer's. So, and those of you that work in healthcare, the importance of keeping our mental faculties. So just for that alone, when people think about exercise as for doing other things, like when we exercise, we choose better foods. When we exercise, we feel better. When we exercise, we sleep better. When we exercise, we have more energy. The list goes on and on and on. Do we always feel like it? No, but we do it anyway, right? That's just part of it. Then I also talk about what I love to do with each year is I do a grocery tour. So we're getting ready for that again. It's coming up in July. So of course you all are priorities. So get yourself signed up for that, because if I need to open it to the community, I just want to make sure you all have a spot if I need to add dates and the summers fill up fast.
Where do you do this?
I go to the Summers Point ShopRite because it's big. It is a little later. We go at 7 o'clock, but if we go earlier, then it's just not as comfortable. But it's fun because you get to, we get to look at each year it's different because there's always new products. There's different energies which people want to learn different things about. It's fun. You've been on it. You like it?
Oh, yeah.
Joanne, you've been on it?
Informative.
Yeah, very informative. Yeah.
Lisa?
Oh, it's excellent. Yeah, you learn a lot. Really good.
Highly recommend it. Okay, so basically our first concept is rejecting the diet mentality. So just take a moment and just think, what has this culture personally cost you? So I'm going to just share with, a lot of times it's costing time from doing things that you really want to do with your life because you're obsessing about being a certain size or obsessing about obsessing about food and what I'm going to eat and when I'm going to eat and feeling guilty about what I did eat. And so basically it took hours of my day that was robbed from me. And, for me, when I look back at formative years where I could have been focusing on other things, loving where I was. So anybody else want to share now?
Money. Costs a lot of money.
Money.
If you're always in it, like, say, oh, that looks really good. I believe that. And then, you try this and you try that.
That's a good point, Hope. Yeah, that's good. Anybody else?
I second some of your thoughts, Georgia, because when I look back at pictures of myself, I was thin. And yet all my life I thought I was heavy. And I wasn't. I mean, there were times when I was not at all, and I still thought I was.
And I weighed 140 pounds, but my friends weighed 120 pounds. I didn't take in the fact that they were 4 inches shorter than me, but I still felt fat.
Yeah, that's true.
No, really? No, good. Sorry. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a tick.
Yeah, these are all good things and real things, right? And so it's nice to know like what it has cost you, because like Kelly said, there's going to be different times in your life you're going to slip back and go forward. It is going to be like that, and to recognize, because like right now, you would be, imagine if you were 50 more pounds heavy, right? Like you'd be like, right now you could look in the mirror and wear sequins dress out for a concert, right? And really rock it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful feeling to be able to do that. Do you want to add to this?
Yeah, I'd love to just share my experience with it too. It cost me my mental health. So it's a little bit hard for me to talk about actually, because it was for so long I was so obsessed with this that it cost me experiences with people that I loved. I wouldn't go out and do certain things because I was afraid that everyone was looking at me or I didn't look like everyone else, or so much time and energy that I could have put making memories with people and laughing with people and being happy that I just sat there and charted food and looked at every calorie that I took in and out. And so yeah, between the anxiety, the relationships, and the experiences, I lost a lot for a lot of years wrapped up in dieting.
And say your brag again.
I went to the beach and wear a bikini and didn't care what I looked like. I wasn't trying to lose weight. I just was okay.
That brag.
Yeah.
No, I heard that. Oh, you heard that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Somebody missed it.
Yeah, I have found so much freedom by doing these intuitive eating principles. It was finally the thing. Once I trusted it, it was a little scary at first because it was a whole new concept, because I had also been fed the whole diet culture thing for years. So it wasn't until about a year ago that I found freedom with intuitive eating, and it's changed my entire life. So it can happen. It just takes work and being open to new ideas.
So I just want to know, Kelly and I worked together like 4 years ago, right? And so she ran through this program as well. But do you hear her? It's still like she learned a lot from the program, but still for her to trust the process, it still came a little bit later. So just keep in mind, like it can be a quantum leap, because realize you all are feeling it. Time's going fast. Things since COVID, there's been a big reset. So things are shifting. So it's possible that you're like, oh, I trust this, and then I'm absolutely ready for this. Others of you, it might be slow, and go only as fast as it feels good for you. But do open your mind for it.
That's the only way it'll stick, if you let yourself go at your own pace with it and allow learning to happen within your own time. Because the seeds were all planted for me.
but they didn't bloom for a little bit later because I had the trust.
But she came, but I used to back in the day do a lot more intuitive eating, mindful eating meditations.
So helpful.
And so she was always there. Like she went to them.
You were wonderful.
So hopefully we can get back to that looks like we're getting there. So yeah, so we can see this. Like let's take a moment and imagine your life. Books constantly. You go in a bookstore, right? What's in the front? What's the latest diet, right? You know, even on your Kindle, it like pops up, right? Magazines. You're going to buy your groceries and you see, oh, lose 20 pounds. This movie's right. It's around us constantly. You know, like we said, like Lisa was saying, like, you know, watching what people are eating. And some people are literally doing that and judging, right? Like that's a real thing as well. But they're not doing it to be mean. I believe all people are generally kind. They've just been mentally brainwashed to have that preconceived judgment. So, you know, as we go and we learn these principles, we also, I believe sometimes we get that high and mighty, I'm better than you. Just be careful of that. It's more like have compassion for them being judgmental or being in their mentality. Right?
It's all culture conditioning.
Exactly.
It's all conditioning.
Yeah.
And then just, you know, that now we see it on Instagram and TikTok. Oh, this person lost 125 pounds. What did they do? Right? And just realize, like, you got to be, it's not going to be quick. And if it's quick, it's not sustainable. It's not, but what we're going to learn more is, you know, why dieting is even more quick. We just saw dangerous to our physical bodies, our social bodies, our psychological bodies, and our behavior. So these standards, that we're supposed to live up to, are they realistic? But what I like to say, are they meaningful? Are they fulfilling? Right? All of us, every one of us, we have a unique structure. We look around, right? Our noses are different, we have different colored hairs, we have different. Janine was saying, oh, I was taller than my friends, right? We're different sizes, we have different shapes, right? So we're gonna all have we come from different cultures. Our ancestors, some are coming from England, and some are coming from Ireland, and some are coming from Italy, right? They're all coming Scandinavian. We're coming from different places. So there's different foods from that region, right? We have different. We all know our genetics have an input as well, right? So we have to keep that in mind, and we have to learn. And you have the ability right here within this program is to kind of learn more about what your own makeup is at this time and how you can even make it healthier. And then we want to look at who set these body standards, who defines this beauty, who's profiting. I believe that everywhere. I'm always like, follow the money on every decision that's made politically or medically, like follow the money. And look at this, the weight loss industry, $280 billion.
Wow.
Someone's making money off of making us feel bad.
Right? And like, we all know that advertising, right? It sells more, even the news, oh, we're going to get more viewers if we put more negative. People are, and that's being really careful. Like, we're all drawn, all of us, to be drawn to negativity, but we get to choose. We can, easily go that way, or, oh no, that's going to bring my vibration down. Oh, I'm going to shift my focus, right? And that's the same thing. Every moment, we have to keep changing that mindset. Okay, so this is, I love this. Get angry at the diet culture that promotes weight loss and making you feel like you're a failure and having shame. Every time you start a new diet, working, gain it all back. So we know 95% of all diets fail. It's basically all diets, only 30% of them work for everybody, right? So, so you have to find, like, what is your own unique meal plan? right? You have to figure that out. But using anger to fuel a new mindset. Like, how do you feel like when we talked about the diet mentality and that you learned? Do you feel a bit? Can you connect with that? Can you drop into feeling a bit angry at what it's costed you?
I also see it as a process because, you know, it took years to get to where, and I don't feel like I have it either, you know, I don't have it. But it took years to get to the point where I could realize that just eating better whole foods is gonna make me feel better too, which I have the past month. I felt so good.
And you look young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had any joint pain. And funny, and you know, because I'm a carboholic, but since I kind of cut out pretty much cut out bread mostly, and it's hungry. I'm still eating. I'm eating regularly. Yeah. I'm eating regularly just because, you know, because it's like, okay, well, I ate 4 or 5 hours ago, so I should eat again, but I'm not starving like I used to be.
I love that.
I do.
And that's the greatest place to get to, right?
I really haven't been here before. I haven't, because I guess I hadn't totally cut it out. But I started eating a little bit of I want to get brown, the white rice, the cold for the resistant starch.
Oh, good.
Just a little bit of that. And I was almost afraid to get on the scale today, and I actually dropped 2 pounds like since 2 days ago. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that that's because I ate that.
But isn't it nice to give yourself freedom to be able to eat rice? Rice is a normal food to eat. We should be allowed to eat rice. Like, okay, let's be honest here. Does anybody have any like rice is a bad food? Okay.
I love it, but I feel like I
Do you?
feel like
Yeah,
I
be
have to
honest.
stay away
Okay.
from it.
I thought
honestly.
white rice was not
And I-
to stay away from it.
Yeah.
I always thought white rice was not.
Yeah. So okay. So back in the day, yes, rice does not have any fiber, right? White rice doesn't. Brown rice does. However, the difference of brown rice and white rice is there's arsenic in, you know, in brown rice. So in this day and age, we kind of
Yeah.
And now what Janine is talking about. So Janine did the gut microbiome test, so she got to see where her short chain fatty acids are. I know I might be speaking over your head, and I know this is a topic. I'll go really quick. But short chain fatty acids provide food for your good bacteria in your gut. So to do that, you can create resistant starches. Rice, you cook it, you cool it, you put it in the refrigerator, it grows short chain fatty acids, which are good for you. So for her, that's one of the things she needed. She could go invest in this, she has to invest in some other supplements, but a cheaper way for this is to use potatoes or any type of a starch and make it cold and you cook it again, right? Yeah.
Then you eat it cold, you can't reheat it.
You can
I thought I read that you could, that you don't reheat it because it gets rid of the resistant starch. Is that not true, or you don't know?
I was under the impression that you could eat it or cool again. I mean, I could check in with other people, but
Maybe you're just reheating it, you're not like cooking it again, like.
Well, I'm just eating it like room temperature. I try to take it out like at room temperature and throw it on top of my
okay,
stir
well
fry
then
or something.
that's good.
But yeah. I'm not eating a ton of it either. I'm eating between maybe a quarter, maybe half a cup a day.
And that's a perfect
Yeah.
amount. That's a realistic amount to go with. So here's a study that talks about yo-yo dieting, constantly gaining and losing weight as a high risk factor for heart disease, high blood pressure, inflammation, and insulin resistance. So that's huge, right? That's just huge. So we don't want to do that. That's not good for us. And I love this. I love this so much. Body size is not a proven indicator of health itself. People who live in larger bodies can be healthy, just like people who live in smaller bodies can have multiple health issues. Focus on health versus weight loss is key. That is key. Talk about honoring your hunger.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so when we're talking about dieting, kind of helps to break down what dieting actually does with our physical bodies, to be able to kind of better understand it. So really dieting is a short-term starvation for your body. Like if you're restricting or you're really only allowing your body to take in certain things, your body tends to go into a mode where it thinks it's starving. When it thinks it's starving, it's going to do a couple of things. It's going to maybe even if you lose a little weight at first, eventually that's probably going to plateau because it's going to make you want to hold on to that weight because your body doesn't know when it's going to get food again. Also mentally though, I think that even makes more of a difference. Mentally, your body thinks that you're going to continue to put it in starvation mode. So if you do this again and again and again, and it's a repeated cycle, your body isn't going to trust itself. It's not going to trust its own hunger cues. It's not going to know what you're doing because it's literally trying to keep you alive. That's your body's job, and your brain wants to keep you alive too. So if your body and your brain are like, oh, they keep restricting and then they let me eat again, they keep restricting, let me eat again. I don't know when I'm going to have food and when I'm not. So I'm not going to process things the way that I should. You know, I'm just going to kind of stay in that high alert starvation mode all the time. That's kind of how your body works. So when you're saying like, I'm not having success with dieting, I'm really frustrated, you know, it's kind of this cycle where I want to binge or I want to eat when I'm restricting. It's because your body's literally trying to keep you alive. It wants you to binge. It's sending signals to your mind saying, you got to eat. You can't keep this up. Like, it's my job to keep you alive and you got to move forward and you have to eat food. And when we're starving, of course, we're going to eat as much as we can, as quick as we can when we finally give into it. So, yeah. So your body is trying to help you, but no, it leads to some really uncomfortable feelings with that cycle. So again, just your body really does need to know that you have to have access to food. You know, it needs that reassurance. And if you've been through the dieting cycle before, your body probably isn't really reassured right now, you know, because it's like, oh, I've done this so many times. I've been there where I haven't had the food I've needed, or, you know, so it's kind of gonna like make you want to eat more and more and more and lose that control. And once you reach that moment of hunger, like if you are restricting your food, any intention that you had of consciously eating, of choosing what it is that makes your body feel good and healthy, and you know, you feel like you're fueled and you feel like you're giving it nutrition, like that goes out the window. Like when your body thinks it's starving and it doesn't know where it's going to get food next, it doesn't matter what you reach for. Like you're past the point of being able to consciously decide. Like you're literally just then in survival mode. So by restricting and doing all this like dieting and rule making and tracking and, you know, whatever it is that may have applied to your particular situation, because I know we all diet differently too. I know I have. Mine was like severe tracking and cutting certain things, but yeah, it's literally, we have to eat. We biologically need this food, and if we don't, our body's going to do whatever it needs to get that food. So again, not you failing. It's not a lack of willpower. It's not that you're not trying hard enough. It is literally your body is not biologically letting you survive when you're dieting. So cut some slack for yourself. Be kind, be gentle with yourself. Like it wasn't designed to work. It goes against everything that our body wants to do. So not your fault.
You heard like, you know, it slows your metabolism down, and that's exactly it. The body doesn't know, and it's there, like she said, they're there to keep you to survive. But not only that, your digestion isn't going to be as well, because your body has its own brain, and if when it knows it's going to generally get food on a regular basis, it's going to start to release these digestive enzymes, right, to help you with that process. That's why it's really important to tune in and you know, embody this body, and you're going to be so much healthier and happier, right? Because like I love what she said, because I just want to hear, how many times have you gotten super hungry and then like what she said, you just doesn't matter, we planned on having this and that, but you're just like, I'm eating this right now because it's fatty and sugary and whatever, right? Raise your hand. I want to see. Yeah. Okay, good. So it was definitely unanimous, right? So that's where we're not really going to talk about that as much today, but if you feel drawn to it, please let us know, like, hey, I want to really talk, or I really want to address my hunger cues, because I think that is a really issue with me. We can really just focus on that, and we can help focus on that right through the Healthy app. You know, it could be somewhere where we work on honoring that. I know for me, knowing that where I'm at a 6, 7 of a hunger, I know it's time for me to eat. If I go higher, I think I deserve more food than I really need. I haven't eaten, so yeah, I need 2 times now. But no, really, energetically speaking, I really don't. But my brain is up, oh no, more. And that's a big problem, especially when you restrict during the day. I mean, I can remember I'm going to be good. I'm not going to eat till dinner, right? I was a perfect example of that one.
Night binging was my thing, because I would
starve myself all day, and then my body's like, nope, not gonna let you do that all night too. So yeah. So next concept is making peace with food. So call it a truce. Stop the food fight. Give yourself permission to eat. Okay, so let's just say I am making peace with food. Everybody on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I am making peace with food. That's big. So can you commit to that? That's a big thing. You're ready. Okay, so these are key things. If you tell yourself you can't or you shouldn't have a particular food, it can lead to feelings of feeling deprived. Can lead to binging and food cravings. When you're forbidden food, can be experienced as that Last Supper eating or overwhelming guilt. Raise your hand if you've been there. Yeah, sure. Okay. Is this another everybody? Okay, good. Okay, so I'll tell you mine. Mine was chocolate chip cookies. I love chocolate chip cookies. I have many memories of them. I love everything about them. They're fun to bake. They're fun to eat. They're just special to me. Me and my sister bonded over. I love them. But there was a period I was newly divorced. I had 2 children to take care of. I was very much into like, that was something I could control was my food. That was something I knew, but so I had forbidden foods. So chocolate chip cookies was one of them. But there was a place called 4th Street Cafe in Ocean City, and they made really good chocolate chip cookies. I loved them. And I would go to the cafe many often and get breakfast tea with my friends, and that was like kind of my hangout. But I would never get the cookie because, you know, it was a bad food, right? It was a forbidden food because it wasn't. And by the way, I was also exercise only to burn calories or lose weight. Okay, that was me every morning. Didn't matter what the weather was. Every morning, 6:30, 5 miles. Then at crazy times I went to 10. I was, you know, nuts. But one day I was on the beach and I was just feeling really, really low and, you know, just consumed with all that stress of food. And I just recognized, I like just got down on the floor and I'm like, no more. This obsession was causing me to binge on other foods when I really just wanted the freaking cookie. And I just gave no more food rules. And I remember going and seeing my friend. I'm like, no more food rules. I'm done. No food rules. And that was the big for me. It was huge. So guess what? Do you think I crave chocolate chip cookies as much? No, it wasn't like that. But it was like, it was an amazing sense of freedom to be able to say, I'm able to eat whatever I want. It's not using it that it's a bad food. It's like I'm choosing to, you know. So now you eat when you want something. And guess what? My other one was Doritos. I love Doritos, and I would like that would be like the Wawa trip, you know. And I can't even eat a Dorito anymore. Like like eventually your body, when you tune into that, like you don't want some of these foods are just that guilt, that shame, that, you know, I'm not allowed, I'm going to do it because I can. And, you know, that guilty rebel kid, right? You know what I mean? But about now, I don't, you know, either one. It's not, I mean, I did have a chocolate cookie yesterday with Callie, right? I won the thing. We go and have, you know, a piece of it. You know, there are these big cookies and, you know what I mean? I don't need to eat the whole thing, but I allowed myself because we were in Congress Hall and they make some good cookies there. So that's my story. Yes.
But is there anyone here that's afraid to take one because you might not be able to stop?
Yeah, I'm like that with some things.
I am like that too.
That's how
That's the only problem. That's why I don't give myself permission. I mean, yeah, if I'm out in a social situation, they order dessert, I'm gonna have a bite or two. But I don't really give my permission to have, I don't know, chocolate chip cookies. I like them, but they're not I can't think of anything offhand. But I'm afraid if I give myself permission, then like I said, I'll
flips the switch.
Fall off the wagon and roll down the hill like I used to say.
Exactly that way.
So
that can be a scary feeling too, because it's like
So
loss
how
of
do-
control.
yeah.
I'm that way with dark chocolate. If I deprive myself of it, I'll eat the whole bag or the whole bar. But what I'm doing is the little squares, I eat one a day. And it keeps that
That's good for you.
Or I'll do that with chocolate chips, put them in a little sauce cup, just about 2 tablespoons or whatever, if I'm craving chocolate.
And that's great.
But that's not something I would
But what
crave
did,
every
can you
day, but
can you
that's-
talk about her thing
Yeah.
that she was saying?
Yeah. So your fear is that when you have a little bit, you're gonna kind of just go all out.
Yeah.
And that's gonna like unravel you, right?
Yep.
Okay. So at first, if you give yourself permission to eat, you might do that a couple times. It's okay, because you're not really trusting yourself yet with it. It's a new concept.
Right.
You've had that pattern where you kind of probably have really indulged in it before because you were so not used to eating it that when you
Right.
did, it was like, oh my gosh,
Because
can't
you're
get
denying
enough.
yourself all the time.
Right.
and
So when you're kind of faced with that situation, what do you think would change if you were to say, I can have this tomorrow too, and I can have as much as I want tomorrow. And then you know what, if I really like this, I can have as much as I want the next day. Like, do you think that that would
Yeah, it
take
would-
some of that fear of then like, I'm gonna eat it all now because I'm never gonna have it again?
Yeah, if I can get my head that way, yeah, I think that would.
Okay. It's a lot of self-talk.
Yes.
A lot of self-talk, yeah.
Yes.
And just changing that mindset. Because of course you're gonna think that you're gonna kind of go really overboard with it because you haven't allowed yourself to have it before.
Right.
So you have gone overboard.
Yeah.
But literally we can have whatever we want, whenever we want, as often as we want. Like we're in charge of us, you know, like we really can. So if we take that restriction away, chances are we might not even want it as badly, or we might not want as much of it because we know if it's that great, I'll have it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you might not actually want it tomorrow, but it's going
Right.
to stop you from like eating the whole thing now, thinking you're never going to get it again. So
Yeah. So I have done that. I've bought things and say, oh, I might as well just get rid of it. So I don't need it tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or eat the
Well,
whole
see,
thing.
I don't know where the logic is there, but
No, that used to be my thing. I'm going to eat the whole thing tonight so that I
Yeah.
don't do bad tomorrow.
No,
So it doesn't
I-
tempt
I
you
did
tomorrow.
that.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
then you're restricting it still. So when you get it
Yeah.
again, you're going to be like, gotta eat the whole thing again because I can never have it
Yes.
tomorrow.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's kind of like playing with that a little
hard
bit.
to
So I love what you're doing is like you're just allowing myself to like, and you do. Tomorrow I have it, and the next day I have it. And honestly, I've been doing the same thing as well. I went to Italy and I got a couple chocolate bars, and I just have a little bit. And I love it. It's a nice treat, and to be able to do that when it runs out, that's fine. I'm good. It's good. If I want to get more, I'll
to get back to Italy.
Perfect excuse, right? Exactly. So how is this landing with everybody else? Like, what are you feeling? Scared? Or are you feeling like?
Yeah, except for like the sugar thing. So it's like I can have like, oh, I can have one tonight, and then tomorrow I'll want it again, and then maybe I'll have 2 tomorrow. Like just that it builds up, that want, that need for it just builds up.
And so
even though I'm not afraid of being restricted, it just is like, oh, okay, I want more.
And you might for a while. And then maybe over time the excitement might wear off a little bit, where you're like, oh, like I have had as much as I want every day. Like maybe it's not
It's
even
more of a
taste as
craving
good.
than
Like
excitement. Like it builds up more of a craving.
So
I think
more of
sugar
a
especially.
addiction type
More of addiction
feeling.
feeling. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think sugary things, especially for me, it's like it feels like an addiction. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Carbs.
And that's where, like, for me, same, that can be my tendency too, if I was like eating that white processed sugars. But if it's when I want to say like, a better option that's not so sugary, like she's talking about like a dark chocolate, it doesn't tend to have that same, like,
Right.
oh, I'm going to need
Yeah,
to
like
have
the
this.
date I do, your dates I do. That doesn't do that to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's more, it's not hitting that addiction part of the
Right.
brain.
That kind of goes back to like honoring the hunger in your body cues. So like once you kind of give yourself permission to eat and you take that need to like binge and that restriction out, like sometimes it can also change what you want, like with your body. Like if you start to then focus on like, oh, this food made me feel this way, or this food, I had this effect, like I had more energy when I ate this, or I felt really exhausted and drained when I ate that. Like it allows you the freedom to play with food more and like choose what it is that you want to try to actually see how it works with your own body. So yeah, it's kind of like giving yourself the freedom to try that and see what works for you, because every body is literally different. So
And I love that because you're actually connecting in with that. I know if I eat so and so, it makes me eat
this 2 more times, right? So then, yeah, so that food might be, what I call that is like kind of a trigger food. So like, for example, I can give you like for me, granola can be one of those foods. Like I love making homemade granola. I'm very good at it. And then when you have a 1/4 cup, it's like not doable. And then, you know, you put the milk and there's still a little bit of milk left, and then I have to put more granola on top, and then I make it too dry, so I have to put more milk on. And then from there I have to, and it goes on. And I love that can be something that I eat too much, and then I'm feeling like tired because I ate too much of it. So it's like one of those things, okay, I won't make, I have to like, my body, I change with the amount of stress where cycle of the year, right? Right now I made some granola right before I went to Italy. Honestly, I still have some. I had some, I guess 3 mornings ago. I had it with some yogurt, but I'm at a different state. Like it's just a different stage, but it's not always like that. Sometimes it's just that story I was telling you. So it will shift, but I know there's times where it's not really because I want to accomplish this. I don't want to feel like that, right? So you're choosing based on who you want to tune your body into and who do you want to become, right? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did you want to add to that? No. Okay.
Yeah.
So, next. Oh yeah, food rules, counting macros, right? And we were actually going to talk about macros today, and I just felt like this was a more fitting topic for this group right now. So I'm hoping you're okay with that. You know, and the other one is, you know, using those apps to count calories. I see it all the time. I'm using the Lose It app or the MyFitnessPal. And honestly, the research is showing now that those apps are causing food, eating disorders. So being really, really careful of that. The way I look at it is when you're counting a calorie is a unit of energy. It's not really like, what does that mean? Like you're using your body as a number. It's not like connected to eating to nourish this physical being that I have, this spiritual being that I am. And that's where, to me, I think it's more black and white. And I don't think this world is designed to be black and white anymore. I feel like it's to be all different shades of colors and shifting changes. Or only allowing yourself to eat at certain times despite feeling hungry. And that's another one, you know, realizing, yes, we're not changing, but some days you might be hungry. So eat. Like I carry a snack with me everywhere I go. So like today I have in my car pistachios. I carried them yesterday too. I haven't snacked. I usually carry an apple with me. Like carry something with you because I don't know if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. It's just like the way it is. I'm not going to wait till the meal time. I am going to eat. So yeah, and everybody's, she's got her avocado or apple. I don't care. It's what I do. But I think it's important to be able to listen to that, because if it gets too hungry, what happens? You drive it into the Wawa or into the fast food or the custard stands, right? Yeah, you are.
Absolutely.
So, you know, but if you eat an apple, like even Callie came home from Vietnam, she goes, yeah, I haven't eaten an apple because it's not really a thing in Vietnam. Because I find them so filling. Yeah, they are. And that's where I always say to my clients, if you're not hungry to be eating an apple, you're not really hungry, you know.
Right? No, I'm only hungry for pizza.
That's hunger above the belly, right? That's hunger. And you know, not just avoiding certain foods. You know, everything like Janine started. Sometimes you just want pasta, and when you tell yourself, like, especially, I don't want anybody ever say, I'm in this Love Your Body program and she tells me I can't have pasta. It's not true, right? You're able to eat pasta, you know, yes, when we're doing a certain thing for a certain reason, yes, that might not be your part of the plan, but eating it when you want, when we say you can't, you know, or the doctor tells you, I'm not allowed to eat white foods, because that's happening now, you know, and that's, you know, you can make a pasta meal super healthy with lots of lots of vegetables, lots of good oils and good lean protein and bean. You can make a pasta meal super healthy. You know, it doesn't need it. But yeah, if you're going to have just pasta with red sauce and you're going to eat, not saying that you can't have that either, but you might have that. My hunger cues make me feel too full. It makes me feel uncomfortable, right? And then there's a whole cascade of things that go along with that.
I was at the Crab Trap for a wedding about 6 weeks ago, and I'm vegetarian, so like that's not a good place for me to go, but that's where the wedding was.
You
So
can't help it.
I said, "Can you make me something?" And then she came back from the kitchen. We can. Oh no, it wasn't the Crab Trap. Excuse me, it was Touch of Italy. Touch of Italy on Easter. I called them up. Yeah, we have plenty of vegetarian things. They didn't when I got there. I said to the waitress, "What can they make me?" I'm at Touch of Italy, a freaking Italian restaurant. They said, she came back, "We can make you pasta with marinara." I was like, "Are you kidding me? I could get that from Aldi's, a jar of sauce and make my own." I said, "Are you kidding me? You can't make a primavera, something with vegetables, maybe?"
Yeah.
No. I wound up getting an eggplant rollatini appetizer.
Wow.
Wow. I know, I'm shocked.
I know. I hate when that happens. There's
Sorry, I
chefs,
almost gave the
some
Crab Trap a
chefs
bad
are like,
rap.
yeah, right?
That's not good for me either.
So who likes being told what you can do or what you can't have?
No,
Nobody.
Either.
No, not at all.
So I have this one client and her husband, I mean, I'm touching my heart because it's just, her husband constantly tells her what she can eat.
Oh.
Doesn't eat in the house. She goes out to eat all of her
Oh.
meals. She showed me a picture of her refrigerator. It's so sad, right? Like, so, you know, but sometimes we do it to ourselves, right? We tell ourselves we can or we can't have something. And sometimes it's deep because it's come from our mom or our aunt or our grandma, right? And they had their own eating issues, right? Sometimes these things go down generations to generation, right? And they continue until we break it. But that's where we want to make peace. Food is just food. Food is neutral. Whether it's a pizza, or it's pasta, it's a chocolate chip cookie, it's neutral. It's not good or bad. It's food. It's made with love. It's made with love. It's made in a factory. Not my favorite, but you know what I mean? Like it's neutral. We make it have a charge, right? We choose that. Yeah. We might want to choose to eat foods that are more life-giving, that are more nutritious. But really, like when we just label it as neutral, that's what it is. We're the ones that put an emotion around it. That makes sense? Do we want to be a rebellion mindset with our food, or we just want to have freedom? Food freedom.
Yeah. We're rebelling ourselves. We're saying you can't have it, then you're rebelling against you.
Yep. Rebelling against
Literally,
you.
and then you can't win a fight against yourself all the time. So.
Yeah, bring that client here.
I
Your
would
husband
love
here
to
so we can
get.
kick this.
Oh my God, I would love to.
Gosh.
And she's so beautiful, and she's so loving, and oh my gosh, I would love to see her be able to be free of that for herself. So basically, food loses its power when you know that you can have what you want, when you want it, how much you want, as often as you want, right? You choose your own food experience. So knowing you can have something again may also lead to greater feelings of satisfaction with only a few bites. Now, has anybody ever found that? Like, I know that's true. I completely know that's true. Does anybody raise your hand?
I can do that sometimes, but then sometimes, like
me too.
If I'm being conscious and I'm in the moment, I can do that. But if I'm not thinking about it or I'm not being like mindful of what I'm eating, then I can devour the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I have the ability to do it, but I don't always do it.
Yeah.
You feel the same way? You feel the same way?
Sometimes.
It's a process. So every time you might not feel the same way, like it's definitely like a learning experience where you're learning about your own body. Or maybe if that happens, it could be like, oh, like leading up to this, where I want it to just keep going and going, like, was I honoring when I was hungry? Or
Or should I have maybe eaten a snack earlier because now I'm so hungry that I have to have more than since I'm not getting satisfied. So it's like just learning yourself, which takes time, like so much time.
And we're always changing.
Yeah.
We're always growing, right?
Yeah.
But does
definitely.
that make sense? Like some of the things she just said, like looking
Absolutely.
back, like were you having other aspects of your life that were in the dieting component at that moment that you where
you can't stop. In other
Uh-huh.
words. Yeah, that is something I have to work on. I know I have to work on that.
and then sometimes, you know, it's okay if it's not just a couple of bites and you just wanted to have more or whatever. But the thing is, that's in that moment. Just let the next moment be a new moment, not beating yourself up and living in your past because you chose to eat the whole piece of chocolate cake or right, you chose to eat 3 pieces
whole
of pizza.
Yeah.
Or
Right. If it's a hardcore binge, even you can learn so much from a binge. You really can. If you allow yourself to again be kind to yourself and say, okay, it happened, it's done. Like you said, don't beat yourself up, you know, but what can I learn about that experience so that maybe next time I can put other things in place so maybe I don't necessarily go that direction. Like again, like you were saying, what was happening? Was I, you know, engaging in diet behavior? Did I have a really stressful day? Like, was I just in a place in life where things were really hard and I just felt like I was out of control? Like, you can learn so much about yourself and how you handle things, even after a binge. Like, if you look at it as like a learning experience instead of like a punishing experience, kind of.
Is it necessarily bad though not to buy things that you know are trigger foods for you? Like, you know, because I live alone, so I have no excuse for Hershey Kisses in the house, for example, or something like that.
yeah,
you know?
so
Yeah.
I don't think that we need to bring it in the house because you know that there's research that states that if it is a trigger addicted type food, that we know it's in there no matter what, we're gonna search it out. But if it's not there, it's better like that kind of thing. Go
Yeah.
get it when you want. Like just go drive and you're consciously choosing to go. If it is Hershey Kisses, you're
Or what, yeah, whatever, right.
whatever.
And enjoy it.
That's
And
what
don't feel bad
yeah.
after. Like,
And I kind of do that
Love
with
it.
ice cream. If I'm really dying for it, I'll get in
Yeah.
the car and go buy an ice cream cone or just a pint or something instead of buying the half gallon, which, because I know if I buy the half gallon, I'm gonna eat the whole
then
thing.
you're gonna be eating
And
it.
in 3-4 days, it's gonna be gone, so.
like you're already learning what works for you.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
One of my girlfriends, her husband loves Hershey Kisses and he brings them in the house and she said he eats 1 or 2 and I eat 8 or 10. And I said, I get it. Why don't you ask them to hide them? You know, put them somewhere where you
Put
don't
them
know where they
somewhere
are.
different.
So.
That's a great.
What's your, this just making me think of, we talked earlier about how do we feel about the whole diet, you know?
Yeah.
Market and all that, like the magazines and the advertisements
diet
and all that stuff, like the actresses, even the news reporters on TV, like they all have to defend their wearing whatever. But I kind of feel a certain way about the manufacturers of this stuff that we call food that I'm learning is it's not really food. Like we're not meant to eat it. Like that's where I'm at right now. Stuff that I was raised on, mind you. I was raised on all this crap that somebody's making it, but it's not good for us to have it. So I mean, I'm trying not to say good food, bad food. It's, you know, have a little bit, whatever. But there's certain things that I really would rather not put in my body anymore.
Then that's great. You'll get to that. Like I won't even eat a Reese's because I don't like it anymore. It just becomes Snickers bar. You good chocolate Snickers. I love Snickers bars. I've tried them now. I can't even eat a Snickers bar. Like I said, I can't even eat it.
Take for that to happen?
It took a few years. It did. It took a few years. I'm being honest. It was a process. I actually had figured out when this actually happened. I'm gonna say it was 2002. So it's been like 22 years when there's like these main shifts happen. But once the decision with the food rules happened, the processed food went out pretty soon after, because when you give yourself permission to be able to eat what you want, it's like you just you eventually don't have a taste for that. And I gotta say, for me, some people still do. Some people like potato chips. I don't like potatoes. But pretzels, that hasn't gone away. I love pretzels, and guess what? My sister had a party on Memorial Day. I purposely, and I barely had time, but I went and I found a bag of pretzels and I brought them to the party. And I probably ate half the bag. And did I feel bad about it? No, I ate what I wanted to eat. And yeah, it was more than I normally would have, but I forgave myself and I said, I ate it. I didn't even have to really forgive myself. I was just happy that I ate it and I enjoyed it. I made fresh hummus that I made myself. I roasted vegetables. So I had a combination of things ready to go with it. I also cut up peppers and cucumbers and there was grape tomatoes. So I had other things that paired with it so I wouldn't feel that crappy feeling, because that's ultimately what for me, this is my choice. I don't want to feel like crap when I ate just pretzels, like, because that's essentially what it felt, bloated and ugh. Instead, I felt good even eating, like I ate half. I probably ate the half back. And so just keep that in mind. It will take time, but like for you, as you keep meditating and doing yoga and learning that this fast food, they are not making it to nourish these bodies. They're making it so you want to eat more and more, so they're making money. They are not necessarily truly foods.
Right, and I get mad at all them, not so much those beauty diet people. I get mad at the people who are making us the other way that we need the diet people, you know.
I'm getting mad at the cooking shows. Like I always watch the cooking shows, the Food Network. I like to cook.
I do too.
I really like to cook. I mean, it's 60 years of habit and liking like bad food. But you watch these shows and you watch like Ree Drummond, what she's making. It's like, oh dear God, like
what was
there's
it?
so
Was it
much
Paula
cheese
Deen?
and cream.
Changed
Oh,
her ways.
Gosh, yeah.
Barefoot Contessa, my favorite. Her stuff is so freaking fattening.
It's good.
Oh, it's so good. But you know, you watch it and I get a little depressed now when I watch it. Like, I can't make that. I can't make that. I can't make that.
Maybe you can challenge yourself to see if you can make it like lower.
I'm hoping that we can
calories
try
or-
to figure that out
Yeah,
during
yeah,
the
yeah.
course of this. You know,
Yeah.
how can we make recipes, things that we really like, better for you?
And I've learned to make things vegetarian over the years. You know, I've only been a vegetarian about 12 years, I guess, but I didn't grow up with that. I learned how to cook the old-fashioned way, you know, but I make a lot of good things now.
So with that, yes, if you want to start pulling out part recipes that you think you would love, and we can work with that. There's also, like, if it is something that you were like, oh my gosh, that's great, an opportunity could be that you do make it because you think it's great, but you make it into having a dinner party. So it's something that you're sharing with other people. So you're not eating too much.
I like the way she did that, Kim.
Yeah.
She's inviting.
There you go. We're having a dinner party at Kim. Harbor Cove.
Part of it is looking at recipes and saying like, because I'm not good at this. Like when you look at a recipe, I'll give you an example. Barefoot Contessa's turkey meatloaf. I make that all the time. I love it. But I'd love somebody to help me. Is it even good for me? Or is it not good for me? Maybe it's actually fine. You know, it doesn't have.
So yeah, bring that in. You know, post it on Facebook. I'd love to
I'd like to see
take
it.
a look at
It's
that.
so yummy.
Yeah. Maybe it's not bad.
What do you think?
Maybe
Might
it's
be
not.
good.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's good, but I'd like to understand how to dissect a recipe better to figure out, am I okay with this?
Yeah, it might be.
Got ketchup. But not a lot.
Yeah, but if you're only eating
Yeah,
a
you're
slice
only
at a
eating
time.
like a slice.
Right, and there you go. You love it. Okay, so
And or
that's
you've used
this
ketchup
is
that
a whole
doesn't have
other
sugar
thing.
added.
So
Yeah.
if
But
you
I love
love
it only. I don't love it. I don't love it in replace of eating healthy. Like I want it to be healthy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Of
I
course.
don't want it to be. That's,
So
that's not my splurge. Like
Yeah.
I have other things
Yeah.
I'll splurge
Yeah.
on. Right? It's not my turkey
So you're
meatloaf.
like right, you'd say if you just want it to be life-giving, right?
Yes.
So okay,
Yes.
so then definitely let's put, because we could take that, we could replace some of that. I have a recipe in the house here for homemade ketchup if you wanted to go that far. You could also help me out if I'm forgetting, Primal Kitchen. Primal Kitchen, I think, is the name of the company that has less sugar, and it's a pretty good ketchup, and it is sold at ShopRite.
Okay.
So you could do that. Many of the ketchup in general, is a very sugary high fructose corn syrup thing where we don't want to put high fructose corn syrup because metabolically it messes
Right,
us up.
but it can't be any worse than that hoisin sauce that's on the turkey meatballs and the TLS recipes, can it?
Well,
Right?
There's sugar in there, right?
There's gotta be.
Yeah, I think there is.
And they're very
Hoisin
yummy.
sauce.
right, there's
probably.
some sugar in there,
Yeah.
but there is, just
But you're
figuring
only using a small portion. I mean, so if you cut
Exactly.
back on it,
exactly.
how bad can that be? But that's kind of what, I don't know, for me, I want to figure out how to make recipes better, healthier,
Uh-huh.
and not my splurge. Like I want to.
So put some together and let's have a little meeting on that. That's
yeah.
something we could absolutely do. So let's all like look at some of our recipes and we'll work on that. All right, so let's go back to here. Okay, so I think we kind of said this already. Okay, so trusting yourself in the process. So I want you to raise your hand and say, I trust myself. One, two, three. I trust myself. Okay, so that's really, I know it's going to be really uncomfortable. So like when you go home and you start to see these different foods and you're like, okay, I trust myself. I just want you to say that. I trust myself. Even like Kelly said, even if you don't, you have a binge, you found yourself restricting, it's okay. It's just trust yourself because you have to go through the process because that will unfold and be like, oh, because eventually you'll learn, oh, I don't really like feeling bloated. I don't like feeling uncomfortable. I don't like feeling tired the next day. Whatever that might be, you will normalize. So basically you might feel uncomfortable and wrong at first because you've been doing this for a long, long, long time. Sometimes your weight might fluctuate a little. I love what Jen said. I went on vacation with 2 girlfriends and I came back and I didn't gain weight, what that tells me, I love that because it's really about a whole bunch of things. It's about going out and living life with gratitude, of service, having fun, being in nature, right? Being active. It was a whole bunch of good things that kept your body in balance. It did, even though you might have had a little bit of things, you were still, that's a wonderful thing. But basically with time and practice, I don't want anybody to go home and say, I tried it, that intuitive eating, that doesn't work. It's a journey, it's a process, it's going to take time. And yes, like sometimes you might be on it and then sometimes, and you're doing it and then other things point you this way and you go back to that diet mentality. You just got to say, oh, I'm doing that thing again. Maybe you have a notebook of Love Your Body and maybe you put this in it and you start to like read, just reading this and alone will be something that you might be able to connect with. There's also a book called Intuitive Eating. So you can buy the book and read the book in more detail for yourself for more knowledge. There's also an intuitive eating workbook. I've worked with a lot of clients using that and they have a lot of success with that. Both of them you can get on Amazon.
I think it's like $12.
Yeah,
it's on
really
Evelyn Triboli is the author.
Triboli.
Again, T-R-I-B-O-L-E.
Yes, T-R-I-B-O-L-E. Yeah, she's great. Now, Kelly has been certified in intuitive eating. So if you want to know more and really dive into it in a deeper way, you always have the option to work more with Kelly.
That's nice.
So any questions about our...
We'll wear our bikinis together.
We'll do it on the beach. We're gonna get you.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Any thoughts on the intuitive eating?
I would like to make that work. Like I'm sitting here saying, I want to eat like that. Like I want to make that work. Yeah.
And you can do this.
I think I can.
Absolutely. You can
So that
do
can
it.
be your new affirmation.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Kim,
Yes,
the,
you are.
Dawn wants to say something.
Go ahead, Dawn.
the Barefoot Contessa recipe, I just looked it up. It seems like the only bad thing is the breadcrumbs and the ketchup.
Yeah, so sometimes like
It has breadcrumbs. in it.
breadcrumbs, you can use some and then maybe put some flaxseed with flaxseed meal.
Yeah.
Flaxseed meal holds things together, has some good fatty acids. It's really good for decreasing inflammation, and it really tastes good. It really makes a nice flavor. So you can maybe start with, pretend it has a cup of breadcrumbs. How many does it have in it?
A cup and a half.
But it's a big, it's a meatloaf, like, it's this big. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you
a-
can make a smaller one.
So my if I was gonna recipe and make it so it's more life-giving,
Yeah.
I would put a half a cup of flaxseed and I would breadcrumbs, but I would not get the breadcrumbs that have like the caking agents and stuff like with the extra preservatives. I would save my stale bread because and then I would take it and I would put it in the freezer. And then when I know that I was doing, I would put it in the food processor and make it into my own breadcrumbs.
See, that's the thing, that's the kind of tips that I think I need, because I'm going right to the Progresso.
Okay, so good. So that's it. So now when you're okay, so you eat out a lot in Manhattan, right?
It's
So they
normal to
do
do
bread
that.
all the time. It's a
Oh, yeah,
perfect,
this is easy to, it's easy to
perfect
do.
opportunity. You take
I
that
don't
bread home, you're putting it right in the freezer, and now you're gonna have some really good bread because you go to really nice restaurants and you have really good breadcrumbs, and your meatloaf is going to be better than ever. And now you've just added some good flax to it, and then you're just going to swap out that ketchup for a better version, that primal ketchup, and I think it'll be great and healthy.
Yep.
Could she also use oatmeal possibly?
You know,
could,
her-
could.
she does have oatmeal in like her turkey meatballs.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if I wasn't sure which had which, but
Because I have a vegan meatloaf recipe that has
Yeah.
oatmeal in it.
I use that. I use that in my
Quick
lentil loaf
oats.
as well.
She uses
Yeah.
that in the turkey meatballs, but she puts sausage in there.
And what about instead of tomato, use tomato sauce instead of ketchup? No sugar in it. Might taste a little different.
Yeah, because you put the hot sauce in there and it gets all spicy. and gooey.
Yeah. So I just want everybody to go around and just say something that they connected with, and one of your takeaways that you're going to take action on about the intuitive eating. And while you start to think about that, before I get everybody to, well, actually, I'm going to pause and then we'll go. If you know what yours is, you can start to share.
I'm not going to deprive myself of anything.
Wow.
I think kind of the same, but I'm not wanting the things that I used to want either. So that's a good thing.
And that's the best. It's like, it's just a natural unfolding, right? And that's
Like, it's so silly, but last night or the night before I went into the liquor cabinet to get out some sherry because of this recipe of broccoli with garlic, and you finish it off with like a couple tablespoons of sherry. It's really tasty. But I opened the cabinet and I was like, whoa, I should have a drink. And I was like, I don't want to drink. That used, not that I was an alcoholic or anything, but that usually would trigger me to want to drink when I see it. That's how I have my top off. No, I don't want any cake. Yes, give it to me.
I'm like that too. That's great. I love that.
That's how I was with Kraft mac and cheese. For some reason, I know it's literally just powdered cheese, which when you look at the ingredients, it's kind of like, oh, but I loved it. But as soon as I was like, oh, I'm just going to eat it then as many times as I want, like it actually didn't taste as good after like the third time of just letting myself eat it, like in a week. Like, but I was like, you know, I'm just no rules. I'm going to just go with it. By the third time of eating it, I was like, ooh, after like the first 2 bites, I was like, honestly, I don't even think I love the flavor of it. I was just eating it because I thought I couldn't. Like, it changed the whole experience. It didn't even taste good to me anymore. I was like, don't even like it. Oh, it's so weird. But it helps.
But what if things do taste good? That's the other what if.
Then I just keep letting myself have them.
Because you
But I
can
don't
have
eat
it,
so
you can
much
have
of
it
it.
whenever you want.
Yeah.
So you're most likely going to eat. At first, you might not, but you're going to eat just what your body needs. When we tune into our own hunger and our own trusting our body gets literally with sweet, gets saturated. It doesn't want, it can't eat a whole piece of cake without tasting every bite. But when you're in that moment eating it, it's like just divine.
Yeah.
When we eat, because so how many times are you like eating something with the other piece already in mind. You're eating it as fast as you can, or just getting it done so you can have that next one. But you didn't really take the time to eat the first one. Am I the only one?
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or the first few bites taste so good, you keep chasing that taste.
Yes,
But
yeah.
it doesn't taste as
That's
good
a good
after
point,
that,
yeah.
you
Your
know?
taste buds get
Yeah, you
used to
keep
it.
chasing it.
I've never found that to be true for me.
Yeah.
For me, the first bite and the last bite taste equally good, and sometimes it tastes better when it's in the last bite, for me.
Okay.
But I know you've talked about that before. It's like, I wish that would happen to me, because then I could still eat more, because it was really good.
Okay. So how's she gonna handle this then?
Sorry.
Just let her
bad
keep
part?
doing it. This.
If it's something you really love and you enjoy it, and you're like, you know what, I like the way my body feels when I eat it. I like.
Well, that's the other, no.
So
not
that might be the
necessarily,
thing right
yeah.
there. So that might be
Well,
the
I have to
listening
consider.
to yourself a little bit. And still, if you want to, I mean, you can enjoy foods in a lot of ways. Sometimes we do emotionally like a little something, or
Yeah.
like that's not a horrible thing, or we're enjoying it with family or friends. Like it's an experience around food, which can be really awesome.
Right.
But yeah, if like you're eating it and you're like, oh, it still tastes good the whole time, but like when I'm done eating it, I feel like complete crap. Like
Yeah,
I'm bloated, or I'm like, oh,
When
stomach
that's,
ache or headache,
yeah,
or
right.
maybe that could kind of be used as fuel to be like, oh, maybe a few bites would be enough to not give me that overstuff. Like I feel awful. Or maybe it won't. We got to kind of play with it a little bit.
Yeah,
We got to test it out with your unique body. But you know, I would say let yourself have it, but then also really pay attention to what you felt like before versus after physically, and see where that takes you.
And to me, that's my a guiding rule. How is this, knowing from my past, how is this food going to make me feel? Okay, with knowing what I have coming up ahead of me today or next week. Keep in mind, what we eat today is still going to be affecting us for months from now. It's not, we are not a trash can. We are not a trash can. What we put in our body is going to affect us. There are long-term, not saying our body's magical, it can transmute anything, but if we keep putting foods that don't serve it, we're gonna feel the consequences later. You've been eating foods that serve you, you're like, I feel great. I don't even want to have a drink, right? That's a perfect example of some really good intuitive eating cues, right? Listening to your body. But knowing to listen, how is this going to make me feel is so good. Pay attention. That made me feel yucky. That made me feel great. For me, if I eat 3 handfuls of almonds, well, I'm going to feel pretty bloated. But if I just have 8 almonds, 10 almonds, I'm good. I'm good. Right? So knowing the amounts that you can have, like it's really, it's so precise. Like knowing you can have more of this if I'm doing these other things and less of it.
But so have you written all these things down? Like, cause I will say for myself, I have no idea what food does to my body. And I'm really, I can tell you when I'm hungover. That's about it. Like, I can't tell you when I'm bloated. I don't really know that. I know if I have a Shake Shack burger and fries, I'm going to have a stomach ache afterwards. But that's about all I know about my body, to be honest with you. Like, I have no idea what almonds do to me. 1 handful versus 5 I have no idea.
So that's going in, 15 years later. Like I'm being really honest with you.
So should we be writing these things? Like when
You
we
could
binge, write it down, like so we have a sense, like because
a journal is a wonderful idea to why you're getting into a journal's a good idea when you're doing anything in life.
I have no idea.
I think that you might just become more aware too.
Maybe.
As you're becoming more conscious of what you're eating, you might become more aware. Oh, I feel good when I eat that. I don't feel good when I eat this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already know the Shake Shack.
So we'll put,
I knew that before though.
There's a workshop, there's a workbook, some pages. We'll find some and we'll post them up on Facebook for you. So you can see to help you with that, to keep track.
Yeah, because I think unless you're keeping track of this is kind of hard to.
It doesn't register.
It doesn't register. Yeah.
And then if you actually track it, it's really nice to be able to look back on it because you start to see patterns. Where if you're not really
if you're not tracking it,
if you're not looking at it, it's really hard to recognize patterns sometimes. So like to actually physically see like, oh, when I had this, I kind of physically felt like that. Where I was emotionally feeling like this, so I ate this, and that made me feel like that. Like,
right? It could be. it could be a whole thing to avoid a uncomfortable situation. Like that could be leading to this, to that. That's literally, if you just dealt, but then you have to deal with that again, right? It's going to come up again. So sometimes we eat things to avoid uncomfortable situations.
And too, back to when you were saying, like, you after a long time realized like the almond you can eat so many, but then if you met a little bit more, it like impacted your body differently. Like you probably never would have figured that out if you didn't allow yourself to actually eat it. So it's like, again, if you don't allow yourself permission to eat all these things, you aren't going to know how your body reacts or how you really feel about it or how it really does taste to you. So it's like that process of playing with it a little bit and just letting yourself do it.
And in the process, just keep in mind, as we're teaching you this, we're also teaching you about good nutrition, right? Like we're teaching you about what fuels your body in the best possible way. So you'll get that. So we're just trust that as well. Like, but your body knows more than even me or Kelly. Your body knows it all. But we have to uncover and peel away all those different things that we've been fed about food. Just, you know, when somebody tells you don't eat white foods, when there's cauliflower is white, right? Potatoes are white. If you know that you've been eating them for, you know, your whole life, you know, just question. Even if we say something that doesn't feel right, ask questions. Like, oh, you know, that's the thing in life. We have to start getting more curious and not trusting everything every guru says or every author. Trust our body will tell us. Really, we have intuition. We're all of us. Not one of us is better intuition than the other. We all have it. We just have to tune into it. And that's what we're asking you, Kim, right now, is to tune into how does this one aspect going to affect you. When you learn this, you're going to be able to learn so many other aspects of life, and you are going to be very intuitive driven in this rest of your life, right? You know, if something feels good, I'm going that way. I'm going to do that. Just like you with your planning your trip with your girlfriend. You got inspired, you did it. You're like, hey, we're doing this. We're going to go here.
This is a big one for me. You and I have spoken before. I get migraines, and my diet has a big effect on migraines. That's what prompted me to come back. Is I was sick and tired of having constant headaches and not feeling well. So I'm still learning, but what is triggering migraines? Because then the migraines lead to stomach issues, and I'm learning what makes me feel good and healthy, and what things I should avoid.
That's great.
And
that's a
sometimes
good reward if you could get rid of migraines. That's it's not like shedding a few
But
pounds. Migraines are disabling.
You know, I'm not getting anywhere near as many as I was when I first came back. Now, you know, you'll notice some things in my journal. If I've had a migraine for 3 or 4 days, I crave red meat. I don't know what it is, but I eat a little piece of steak or a hamburger because I need that to go away. It's kind of, I always say I have like a hangover after having a migraine for 3 or 4 days. It takes a hangover away.
That's very grounding. Good. That's great. That's a wonderful intuitive thing that you picked up.
And I'm not a red meat eater. It's very rare that I eat red meat.
So we all have that. Our body will tell us that. Like Anna says, you know, her body tells her that and makes you feel better, right?
It's a little easier for me because I'll have the physical symptom, not just the mental one, where I, you know, get sick. I'll either get a headache, and some foods will trigger a migraine instantly. Like shellfish. I know I can't eat shellfish.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Okay, so let's go. Oh, so you both went. I'm going to go to you about what you're going to take away from today.
Well, I think I actually own the intuitive eating book, and I stopped reading. I got to like chapter 3 or 4, and I never went any further. But I think now I have some time, and I think I'm going to read that book.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anyone ever wants to like book club it, so I'd be interested in that.
Yeah. Okay. I would
Just
do
to like
that.
discuss, like read a few chapters over a period of time, and maybe like
It's a great idea.
whether it's Zoom or you know in
Yeah.
person. Like if anybody wants to like meet up, I'd like to read it again too. So
So let's put that on.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, Anna, what's yours for your?
Mine was the learning to listen to my body.
Mine is just never to get hungry. That's true.
Don't push
I'm not-
yourself to the point of like.
Yeah. No, I mean that. I mean that.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
it?
No, I really mean it.
Oh,
I think
that's
the more
good.
you,
Yeah.
when I get hungry, I do bad things.
Oh,
Like right
that-
now,
that
I'm
kind of
starved,
hungry,
like
yeah.
I don't want to go home and eat
That's
like a
hangry.
Band-Aid,
It's Snickers
but
emotions, right.
Yeah, it's
it's,
hangry.
I think, pardon me?
It's hangry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
having your body get to that point where you are hungry is never where I want to be.
Sort of like with fluid, right? When you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. Like,
Yeah.
so your body gets thirsty.
Yeah, I love that. That was a big one for me, you know, was not to get hungry, because I, same thing, all bets are off, everything
All
I was
bets are
planning.
off.
Yes.
That's true.
And what's yours, Hope?
Trying to be satisfied with a few bites, see if that works. Like paying attention to stopping. Trying.
I love it.
Something Georgia wrote to me, I guess in Healthy, maybe about a week ago or
Yeah.
so, was just to remember to ask myself, is this going to help me achieve the goals I want or be the person I want to be? And I've been doing more of that. I should brag about that too.
That's great.
Because I've been doing that and my car has not veered into the Dollar General, you know, because I say to myself, even if I get to that point where I'm really hungry, like if I go to my dad's and visit him and then I'm really hungry and I want to get home to eat my healthy foods, on the way, there's a Dollar General and I'm already past hungry. And there was a time not that long ago when I would pull in like, well, let me just get these devil dogs for tonight. And then tomorrow I'll start again. And I would eat the whole box. But now I'm like, no, I have stuff at home. This is not going to help me.
Good.
Like I'm
That's
more
great. That's
mindful
self-talk.
about it.
Exactly.
And this is just sort of.
And remember, like, I know that for me, extra snacks when I go home, like extra snacks when I go to my parents, you know, not now, but back when they were in Ocean City, that was a big thing for me because triggered all kinds of stuff comes up for me when I'm in the surrounding, plus the food choices like yours, like aren't necessarily the best, right? But so you have that so you can prepare, you know, whether it's something just in case. But the self-talk is great. Like you're going home and I have food, it's already ready for me. You know, just, and like Kim said, not getting yourself to that place of, you know, I'm so hungry, I have to get because you don't even know. You're like, I'm there, I'm getting the devil dogs, goldfish are coming.
Right.
And I got to get rid of them now because I'm not going to eat these tomorrow, so I got to eat the whole box, right? And that's where the weight gain goes up. But
I've been saying to myself, like with that tiramisu cake, I already know what that tastes like. Why do I need to taste it?
I love that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's intuitive thinking or not. I have no idea.
It's yours. It's yours. So there's no right or wrong here. It's you. It's a process. We just it is you.
So I didn't need to taste it because I already know what it tastes like.
That's a cool way to look at it. I think that would help me a lot with certain things.
Yeah.
It's okay, steal that for myself.
That's okay. Really. That's why we're all here to help each other.
Yeah. And then up in Dawn.
So feeling guilty about bad foods. I'm gonna work on that.
Okay, awesome. And Chris?
I'm going to work on letting myself have that food that I really want, but try to, you know, I guess be mindful, eat it and not overeat, which is what I don't want to do.
Yep, just go and trust. Just trust yourself. Eat what you want, and going at it that it's okay to eat what you want to eat. Like that's the difference. Before the difference was, I shouldn't be eating this, right? This is freedom. Just keeping that in mind. Okay, so I think we all have our activities that we're going to go home and go forth with. So please use Facebook. Let's talk about this. Let's be interactive. Let's help each other grow with this. Okay, just one more thing. We have the Hero Walk coming up on the 16th of October. We talked about people were interested in doing that. Do we still want to do that?
Yeah.
And
Sure.
is there anybody that wants to be that person who's like the team lead or the captain? Anybody that wants to?
And I would work with that person because I work for the Hero Campaign now, so you're not like out there in no man's land.
I would do it. Is there anything? What is it?
It's really just keeping track of like making sure there's people on the team and asking people, would you like to be on the team? You know,
Easy enough to do.
Awesome.
Writing down their t-shirt size. You know, it's not like hard.
Great, thank you, Kim, thank you.
We'll be in touch, Kim.
All right, so are we all still interested in doing that, October 16th? Yes?
Mhm.
Okay, so just make sure you work it on your calendar, because sometimes things get filled up pretty
I have
quickly.
a question. Are we doing measurements on this 22nd?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're doing measurements that if for some reason you need to do it a different day that week, it's okay. Like if it's your meetings coming up and that, you know, we could do that as well.
When are we doing measurements?
The next meeting on the 22nd. So you can either come early, you can come, you know, stay a little later, just so we can get that. Okay. All right. Any other questions? No? Okay.
Yeah, but thank you both.
Yes,
Thank you very much. That was great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good. Good.
This was really good.
Good. I think it's a
Good for
good
us,
topic.
yeah.
Yeah, and then definitely save your things. Please don't just like file them away. Go home and put them somewhere safe that you can. like, bring it back.
Janine, thanks for letting me try this blow dryer.
Oh, yeah, sure, you can have it if it works for you.
Thank you.
So I yesterday it was working. Sorry. But yeah,
we'll be in
touch.
I was just wondering when I got to work with that thing.
Yeah, so sorry, I had forgotten and then I remembered and I.
I forgot my phone.
It's okay.
Did I
Give you the 4 days.
Yeah, yeah, could be there tomorrow. I don't know. It's FedEx usually.
You never know.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for following up.
Yeah, I don't take my next appointment.
Are you like
Okay.
an early hour person? You like it after work?
I have my computer out. I thought, let me, if I get in, which time you want, like,
Yeah,
4
yeah.
o'clock on Monday?
Yeah.
Great.
Do you have more shakes for tea bags?
Yes. Yeah, which
one?
one do you want?
Where do you
One
want
of each.
Okay.
In the high school. Oh, okay. I work at Miller, so. Miller's like right on Alder Avenue. Like right close to the high school. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I rarely go down there.
Down
but-
Dogwood.
Yeah, I've cut through there a couple times for various reasons. Oh, okay. Yeah, so maybe sometime in the evening we'll walk out there. Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, we'll be intentional about it.
So I have another vanilla envelope. I don't
Yeah, that's
have
one of my
to
favorite things.
bring it in.
Is to talk to someone. We'll do that.
Yeah.
That would be good.
No,
I don't have
don't.
enough anymore.
But I'll get it here.
I was helping
Our doors stay interested.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
You just call
It
it or make time to even want to read. So yeah, I like that too. Having like a whole buddy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Did I say
Figure it out for
27?
sure.
I know. it's
Yeah,
late,
let's
but-
see.
That's the one that stays. Yeah.
Some schools go up, but we're really late. Really late.
When are you done, Lisa?
27.
Ay.
I know. Maybe next week's
July.
July.
Yeah, that's almost like that feels like it's midsummer.
Why so late? Because somebody said.
They
because
gave
of
us
snow?
12 extra days in November, like 3 extra days, and then the 3 snow days, so that brings us into the next week. Even before that, it's gonna be late.
That was dumb though to give you extra days off.
I think so.
Yeah,
And
let's
then-
hope they learn from it this year.
No, the same schedule next year.
Oh, that's so
I
silly.
know, I know.
You always give them later, or May or something, you know, if you don't use them. Do it later.
Yeah.
And why, right? It's helping you.
Thank you,
Oh,
Joanne.
thanks for doing that, Joanne.
You sound like you're having allergies, Lisa, too.
I don't know what's going on.
You want me to get yours too? Whoops.
Kelly, if I don't see you, goodbye. Thank you for everything. You were wonderful. So, you look great. I mean, I'll talk to you soon.
Definitely. We'll catch up.
But I do like being able to put it up in the clip too.
Yeah. Well, I just decided, well, 2 weeks ago that I'm gonna let mine go, because my goddaughter was married in December, and she included me in hair and makeup with all the girls at the party and everything. So I thought, well, I hope we're gonna get some actual hair oil. So I'd be like, waste the money, but I wanna be a participant.
Yeah,
So I
sure.
thought, maybe I'll try to let my hair grow and see, give them something to work with in December.
Right.
But now, of course, now it's hot, and I'm like, hell, I wanna shave the darn hair.
Right.
That looks nice, thick. I'm moving on back. But you got body. You got like.
Yeah, well, this is what
Great.
it's not quite curly, but not, you know, like you said, but
It's not
I'm
straight.
very blessed with my hair. I'll tell you. Very lucky. putting up with being called all those nasty names as a kid being redhead.
Now people envy you, like
Yes.
they want to be red.
Right. Anyway. How's everything else going?
Oh, things are good. It's so funny because my dad, never would drink enough water.
Right.
But now, I went to the cardiologist because he's been so poorly. Right. Blood pressure's been really low, which it has over the past couple of years. It's been there. But so finally the cardiologist tells him you're dehydrated and you're out of shape. Like it's not just a medical thing. Right. And you're eating too much sodium, plus we'll reduce one of your pills. So he focuses on the pill. Oh, I knew a pill would help, So he's wanting to see. So he started June 1st. He's wearing his compression socks, which he wasn't wearing.
Well, that's good.
And he's drinking a pitcher of water every day. Like he's doing it.
Wow.
And I'm bringing more food over to him. So he has, when I go over, I take like 3 or 4 days worth of stuff that he can eat, lunches and dinners. Breakfast is still iffy, but at least I know he's getting some vegetables every day. And I'm not buying ice cream because I do all the shopping.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. So today's day 7, and he's not like miraculously healed, but his blood pressure did go up for a couple of weeks, and he's taking water because he's drinking. He doesn't really get it though. He doesn't. He thinks because you cut that pill in half, and the pill has a side effect of lowering your blood pressure.
No.
So
Did you
gets
tell him
more
that you drink more water and more volume and that causes your pressure to go up? And,
He doesn't. He's a smart man. but
What's he
doesn't
putting in his
want
water?
Kristen,
Okay, good.
or he'll drink the, sometimes I'll get him the bottles of sparkling ice. It's called the flavor.
Yeah.
And he's been actually putting, the pitcher works good for 60 ounces.
Good.
So sometimes he'll put the flavored water bottle, pour it into the pitcher and add water to make it diluted, and he still fix it. So I'm like, well, that's even better.
Good.
You're not getting as much of the aspartame or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's doing some good things, but he wants to see immediate results. Like he's like, I know you've always told me this can't hurt me to be drinking more water, and it might even help me. That's not exactly what I told him, but he wants to see, like, I did it today, so tomorrow I'm good. I'm like, Dad, when you eat a bagel, it doesn't give you the immediate bad because he's not in touch with his body like we're talking about here. He doesn't feel like, oh, I'm all bloated. Like he just feels all the way over the thing. So that's that he doesn't notice it. Like when you eat the pizza and the cheese sticks and the bagels and the donuts and all, if we all had immediate negative reactions to those, we'd stop eating them.
Yeah, exactly.
We all want immediate reactions, good and bad. Like if you immediately got cancer when you're smoking, you would stop smoking.
Yeah,
like, but you know it takes years. Sure. So it's funny, I just had that conversation with him and I'm trying to be the teacher, and he might be the student. But it helps me to try to help him.
I was gonna tell Georgia this.
I was at Aldi's. They have these drops in your water bottle, just because I love water, fortunately, but every once in a while I want something different. They're all natural from fruit juice base and has stevia in it. And I don't usually like stevia. Yeah, it was tropical fruit punch. Tropical, it tastes like coconut, pineapple. It's Aldi's brand. Yeah. Yeah, it's all natural in the label, and I looked and it was like fruit juice and fruit juice extracts. I mean, I think that's all natural. Also, at Walmart, yes, a couple weeks ago I was at Walmart.
I'm good. How are you doing?
Freeze pops. That's what it is. Again,
Yes,
it was like
yep, I'll be
grape
there.
juice, pineapple extra, or pineapple
Absolutely.
juice, concentrate. It was just
Yep. And I'll take them over.
25 calories.
And we'll see what she says. She might say do it twice a week or whatever. So yeah.
Organic freeze pops.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Why every morning I wake up and I'm on the floor? It's not real. It's like good.
Anybody really good because he's a great cat and he needs to be at home. It's gonna break my heart to get rid of him too. Tortures the one cat, has to stay in a separate room with the door closed. He's like in a big cage now instead of a little one. The cat. They I have a dad. But he sits on her back and bites. I mean, it's where, I think I said this to you, I think it was a nanny narrating this to you. It's where he's not fixed. Horrible. And I love, but for me, yeah, he loves me to death.
Yeah, I had a cat like that.
Did you?
Yeah, like,
Oh, wow. What'd you
had
get?
well, we gave it to our vet. We had,
Oh, wow.
it was
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
I saw it wasn't designed to be.
No, especially not the bigger. I even bought these holistic crops from Jackson Galaxy, the Pat Patel guy. I think they help a little bit, but it's like, as soon as he sees me coming at him with it,